just people in general. If you don't know, then you don't need to know. Because I don't see that as being something important. I would tell you out of trust. Remember, this is me opening myself up to you. This is when I know I can trust you. And I feel in a safe place to tell you this.
So we've been hanging out. How did we kind of like hook up in that kind of a way? You know, it was just like when I transitioned, you know, which is like almost 10 years ago. You know, I thought, God, this really sucks. You know, because it's so hard in the very beginning just to be by yourself. And I thought, geez, you know, it would have been really nice if I had a big sister when I was transitioning. And so with her and I, you know, it was better. You know, we had. You know, because we're both Latina and everything, you know, and I'm really pretty, and she's pretty too.
Oh, come on,
and
nah. I would say it's more spiritual, because you know we're very spiritual ladies, and I don't know, it's just I guess we had that good vibe, the sisterly vibe, and first we became like best friends, and
you know, she's come over to my house a couple of times, and we just have like a little slumber party and stuff, and it was fun.
And then we have our sister talk, where we just get to talk about anything, like girl talk and stuff. So that's what we have it. We call it our sister talk.
That's right, right.
This is me on a bad hair day. Is that a beard? I was like, no! No, I'm kidding. I told him, yeah. I was like, I have a beard. I didn't shave my beard. I prefer him to know than not to know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's because I didn't shave.
Right. Well, I can't believe you. You didn't do that. You went out on a date.
I had to let him know. You know, I
give way to let him know?
Yes, because you know, of course. Honey, I'm lazy at times. I'm like, fuck all that shit. Well, I'm like, oh, fuck all that, okay? First of all, I'm getting sick and tired of dating all these guys, and then I have to lecture them and educate them, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
How about the scenario of going to your therapist who doesn't know anything, and then you have to teach your therapist what transgender is all about, but you have to pay him at the same time. Now, is that screwed up or
that
what?
Is screwed up.
Oh, that is well
screwed
up.
Up.
You know, it is. It really is fucked up.
You
know. Exactly. I did that in the earlier days. Oh my God, when there was nobody that was around that had any idea. Well, what's your problem? Well, what's that mean? Well, I don't know. Well, okay. Well, enough to teach me. Give me $100. Every time that I had been cross-dressing as a woman since I was 8 years old, I gave up my male privilege. You know, and people think that sometimes look at that beautiful woman, or how glamorous she gets to be, and this and that. But society treats women like shit for the most part, And even today's modern women, after transitioning for 10 years, I certainly don't have the depth that genetic women have, but I certainly do have an understanding and have felt the implications of that kind of self-righteous male privilege, prejudice, over somebody that is, well, she's a woman or she's a girl. Don't expect her to know anything, and I get that even from other women, It's like, because sometimes genetic women look at trans women in a way like, well, she's trans, what else could she know except how to, put her nail polish on, or all she's good for is excuse the expression, sucking cock, That's all they're good for, And it's so far from the truth. It's so far from the truth. But that's the way that we are raised, in the sense of a little bit of typical prejudice, But I think that, to answer your question of male privilege, yeah, I gave it up. Do I miss it? I don't. A little bit. A little bit. I would say that I do, in the sense of getting the kind of recognition, because we all want a sense of pride in who we are, and hey, wait a minute, I got a voice, I can say something about that. You go, no, you're a girl, you're a woman, you know, you don't have any voice, you know, you have to say you're a trans woman, you don't even, you know, we're not interested in your opinion, you know, just go suck some cock or something.
Make some money. Do what you're worth. I do hesitate to tell people about me being a transgender, and it's like, I mean, I will tell them eventually, but it's like at first, you know, I'm like really, I'm hesitating. For the Gwen Araujo experience, I mean,
how did you think about the way she?
I mean, like I read in the, yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Like, and what I read in the article was more like she got. He says the part where the guy felt on her genitals. You know, they hit her with a skillet or a frying pan. They didn't know what the hell it was, but it was either or. And then she was bleeding, blood gushing down her face. And I'm thinking, God, you know, that could have been anyone. Don't even have to be transgender. Exactly. So once she got up, and, you know, she stood by the wall, you know, trying to catch her balance or something. Then one of the guys, I guess, he punched her and then kneed her in the face. I mean, what is it? They left a dent on the wall? No.
October 16, 2002, I had an officer at the door with the chaplain for NeuroPD, which ironically happened to be our old pastor from the church, Ed Moore. I already knew when I saw both of them coming to the door that they were coming to give me some bad news. It's almost like you go into a whole different world. I can't even explain to you how I felt. My nice, happy world all of a sudden turned dark and cold and scary. And I went into shock. I remember not wanting to wake up and wanting to die because the pain was so immense. It's still immense. It's still hard. And it's hard because of how they murdered her. She didn't die naturally in her sleep or in a car accident where it happened quickly. It happened over a course of hours, and it was brutal. And that's hard. Oh my goodness. That's the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I pulled them in the room and I said, I gotta tell you guys something. I said, what's wrong, Mom? I said, at that point I would say Eddie. I didn't say Gwen. So I said, they killed Eddie. He's dead. And they started crying hysterically. Brandon ran out of the room. And Michael just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. I've never seen my children cry so much.
I don't believe that that's a defense appropriate. I feel that they were making excuses, and they're outdated excuses. And hopefully after this trial is over with and the verdict is read, we will be, hopefully they'll be thrown out and not be allowed to use anymore in these hateful, brutal murders of transgendered people. So I'm not in agreement with, I don't agree that this was a deception, because Gwen was being true to herself. Gwen was Gwen.
There's one word that sums it up. The most beautiful word in the criminal justice system is justice. So that's my request. My request is that you return to this courtroom the justice that these guys denied Gwen Araujo. Sorry, Gwen, no trial, no right to counsel, no appeals, no right to remain silent, no rights at all. Die. That was a decision that they made, and it's as real as that.
I think it went well, and I'm very confident that the verdict will be acceptable by me. I'm hopeful that it will be. Of course, there's no guarantee. The jury is going to have to deliberate and make that decision and give us the verdict that they feel is appropriate for the murder of Gwen.
Under those circumstances and the fact that the jury has been deliberating for, I think this is the 10th day, I will now declare a mistrial and discharge the jury from further service in this case.
I couldn't believe it. I was in shock.